Hey everyone, episode 38 of Neo Reality Collective is here. Sorry for the delay, but it was mainly because since yesterday was the big election and we are still in the election, and, and it's too big for one night, and at the rate it's going, it looks like it's too big for two nights. Yeah, boy. So, yeah, so I decided to make a super oversized edition, also known as the second oversized edition episode of episode 38, to make up for yesterday's news and talk about today's news, which wasn't many, so expect a lot of stuff. So let's get right into it. MLW, Major League Wrestling, has announced ACH for the Restart event. So when I heard this, I was thinking, um, it was announced that Major League Wrestling will have ACH return as part of the Restart event on Wednesday, November 18th. And he has his eyes set on winning MLW Gold and the 2020 Opera Cup. ACH has made it very clear he wants in the 2020 Opera Cup. MLW CEO Corbauer, in a press release, he would bring a new dimension to the cup with his aerial and ground game, unlike anyone out there. And all I can say is, stay tuned. They've also previously announced AAA World Cruiserweight Champion Leonardo Kid, and also Davey Boy Smith. And so when I heard that ACH was coming back, I was like, you really want him after what the meltdown he committed? Okay, at the beginning, I totally get why he was pissed, especially when he revealed that WWE's merchandise guys lied to their boss to make this image. But the way he went about it went into absolute insanity to the point that I was thinking, is he all right mentally? Uh, like he, like he, like he could have had a very big, impactful moment being the voice of change about racial equality in WWE, but then it devolved into absolute insanity. So yeah, I didn't know how to feel about that, but I was like, if he's calmed down a little bit, okay, I'm fine with that. The Rock confirms that a handful of guys tried to stop his push in '98. Those sons of bitches! So, Bret Hart revealed on Confessions of the Hitman that The Rock was subject to backstage bullying from members of the Clique, and that several wrestlers tried to break The Rock and get him to quit the pro wrestling business. We're recalling his first ever meeting with The Undertaker on WWE's network Meeting the Undertaker special. The Rock confirmed the story that some members of the locker room didn't want him to capture his first title at Survivor Series '98. This is stuff I never shared, but I do want to share because it's important. When I started to make the move up the card, and word got around that the office was priming me for the title, well, there were a handful of guys in the business at the time who did everything they could to stop that run from happening. And the Great One revealed that, once again, because he's an awesome dude, The Undertaker had his back during the trying times. He was always so steady, telling me, don't worry about it, kid, just go out there and keep doing your thing, you have a hell of a future. Um, The Rock, who reached the top of the wrestling mountain, business mountain in his mid 20s, also revealed that he would constantly get questions about his age from The Undertaker. He would always ask me, "You hit 30 yet?" Every time I said no, and he'd be like, "Oh, one day you will, and your bones will be sore." I always appreciate that about Mark. It spoke volumes about his integrity and love for the business, and I'll always be grateful for that. Then he quit right when he hit 30, and everyone was depressed after that. And Dodo he never really recovered and instead started bullying everybody, whoever even so much as touched that spot. So yeah, so what does it surprise me that the Click and several wrestlers trying to break the Rock? Doesn't surprise me, honestly. The click. Though Bret Hart's time frame does confuse me because the only people left in the Click was Triple H. So DX tried to break him. DX and Sean Waltman. The other guys were all gone. Shawn Michaels was retired because of injury at that time. So yeah, but yeah, Undertaker had his back, and I really enjoy and I really love that Undertaker's that loyal to that industry, and he's loyal to the talent. He doesn't care who they are unless they're gigantic pieces of you know what, but that's a different matter. So, moving on from that, Vince McMahon's documentary from Netflix and WWE Studios is set to be a 4-part series. The upcoming will be a 4-part series. Chief Brand Officer Stephanie McMahon appeared on Token CEO podcast with Barstool Sports Chief Executive Officer Erica Nardi earlier and revealed that the documentary will be split into 4 episodes according to F4W Online. And Stephanie did not reveal any further details, but did note that she's excited about the project, but also a little nervous because it's still her father. WWE President Nick Khan revealed during the Q3 2020 earnings call that WWE has reached a groundbreaking deal with Netflix and everything, and is set to be groundbreaking as it's one of the highest budgeted documentaries in Netflix history. Yeah, every time when I see WWE and documentary, it's very revisionist. It doesn't really want to tell the truth. It's more like oh, we're the saints. We're the good people. Everyone else is bad. Or they were just misunderstood and we're the good guys. He's like how they lied about Ultimate Warrior during his East WCW run, where when he debuted in WCW, his ratings dropped, when in reality it actually went up to see the Warrior confront Hogan. And because when you recall, his only match with Hogan was WrestleMania, and people loved that match, even though it wasn't a good technical match. It was a good spectacle of a match. But yeah, I am expecting WWE to revise history, to make them look like this Vince McMahon is just this innocent saint and he can't do anything wrong. So, Bleeding Cool has made an article that the rumors are hotting up, where it remains that saying this: the DC Omniverse continuity changes in 2021 after Future State. Uh, They said this: well, the rumors are hotting up. What remains of the New 52 after DC Rebirth, Death Metal, and Future State is being done away in favor of a DC Omniverse model, in which characters in comic books are no longer tied to a strict continuity, but will play faster and looser with history. This is a direct rejection, and a DC publisher, Dan DiDio, who was removed, plans for a new DC talent that had begun to set up earlier in the year, shown off at New York's Comic Con stage and filtered by Bleeding Cool. Well, it was intended to be published in this year's DC Comics Free Comic Book Day title, but after publisher Dan DiDio was fired, every single copy was pulped. Not one copy escaped to the aftermarket, despite 4-figure sums being offered by enthusiastic collectors to anyone who might have one on the side. If any departing DC editors have a stack of them in the office, they could pay for their retirement, essentially. They also understand that DC is currently working on putting together a new event comic to birth this new reality, to be published in March or April, for this new unrestrained storytelling approach. Basically, DC rebirth by people other than Jeff Johns, a framing story of all the books spinning out of the 2021, coached into a new kind of omniversal continuity, need to persuade people that everything still matters. Because some disquint I've heard is that Dan DiDio's expressed status of the new DC universe: everything happened, everything matters, may become an everything happened, nothing matters. For some, continuity is a major aspect of superhero comic books. A single extended history with many books having the question of them, does it count? Half of the question about Doomsday Clock and Three Jokers set up the heavy continuity DC rebirth were about, where they were still in canon, where they counted, where they mattered, the answer being not sure, not since Jeff Johns left DC Comics as CCO. But what the DC Omniverse will mean is greater creative freedom, less interference by editors or publishers, and no one's saying you can't use that character, they died in City of Bane, got lost in a dark dimension, went evil, or are currently approaching Gotham, slowly with all her plans. Allow new variants of characters to license as toys and to be tuned into direct-to-TV animations. The Elseworld stories have done very well for Warner's. This might make every DC comic book an Elseworld title. Once upon a time, this was called Hyper Time, but DC Comics never really committed to it. Now it seems they are. Hopefully, that increased creative freedom will make up for the lower page rates each starting to come in. So, what Bleeding Cool is essentially saying is that, oh, continuity, DC's throwing that out and saying everything happened. The pre-New 52, like, okay. Yeah, if this is really the route they're going with, it might make people less interested in being invested in the comics, because if they say what happens in the Batman books doesn't really matter in the Superman books, or what happens in the Superman books doesn't matter in the Wonder Woman books, or what happens in the Wonder Woman books doesn't matter in, say, the next Crisis event book. That's essentially what they just said. If that's really the route they're going with, I will kind of be sad about that, because while I do love a quality story, I am a continuity junkie. I have been obsessed with building a continuity when it comes to my fan fiction works, even. And any projects I would do if I ever made an original project, I hope one day if I can come up with ideas or get a co-help on that, then I will be very interested in maintaining the continuity and keeping track of everything. Since, well, my writing skills are very, very slow. So, mostly because of procrastination. So, yeah, yeah, so it is kind of concerning if they're just going to go with the omniverse model, because that would mean they would have to make multiple upon multiple imprints within the DCU. There would have to be a future state imprint, a new 52 imprint, since they have established by Jeff Johns that new 52 is still out there. It's Earth 52. They could go with future state, being its own Earth. They could go with Batgirl. They could go with the pre New 52 as Earth, as New Earth, or pre Infinite Crisis Earth. They could do that, but there would be so many imprints and so much confusion going on that you would lose track on everything that's happening. So yeah, I don't know how to feel about this in the long run, but we'll have to see how this goes. And if it works out, okay. If we get good stories out of them, that's one thing. But if they just say, oh, well, we get to have 10,000 Batman running around, and we can all just say, oh, well, they're in different continuities. So therefore, you don't have to worry about that. So DC Comics wants to also hire a head of digital and mobile product strategy. Okay. DC Comics, with much of Warner Bros., has made a lot of senior staff redundant recently, although many are now staying on the end until November, as I've covered before on Monday. But even in the midst of the downsizing, they are still hiring at Burbank. And here's the listing that just got up for a full-time head of digital and mobile product strategy at their Burbank offices. This, though, that probably still means remote working for now. And they have the listing about everything that goes on, applying and everything, the requirements needed, and the last one saying you must have a passion for DC Comics and characters. Okay, like that, like I don't have many of those things, but I do have a passion for the DCU and its characters. I've been advocating for Donna Troy to get her own series. Oh, and big news on the Wonder Woman side of things. So, all those who are a fan of George Perez and of Wonder Woman's and his Wonder Woman run are in luck, because next year we will be getting an absolute Wonder Woman and of George Perez's run on Wonder Woman's 1 through 14 from 1986 to 1987, as well as his Wonder Woman work for Who's Who, the definitive directory. You have the DC Universe number 26 and Who's update in 1987 1 through 3. He will get the absolute format treatment. Yay! So yeah, we're gonna get the absolute format treatment of George Perez's Wonder Woman run. So I'm hoping more are made. But it does say that it also mentions how that it will also be coming out in July of 2021. So get ready for that, everyone. So, as you can see, I am a fan of absolute editions when it's appropriate. So, I didn't know about this, but Bob's Burgers is having a film, and I was like, I don't recall hearing that, honestly. I didn't even know that was a thing. The creator, Bob Burgers, says that we talked about streaming as it pertains to the movie, and we decided we really want the movie to come out in theaters because Bob is already on TV. The creator explained in Entertainment Weekly, of course, we want everyone to be able to safely see it in movie theaters. We don't want anyone to put themselves at risk, but assuming that the point of which everyone can go back to the theater safely, we're excited about Bob's the movie, he being seen in theaters in the dark with other people, because that's something we've never been able to do. That's the main course that we're delivering to people in this case. They also noted how COVID-19 upended the most ambitious year ever, with health crisis impacting not only Bob's Burgers movie, but also TV shows like Central Park and the upcoming Great North. I feel like the timing is really hilarious. We were just slammed. This whole year has basically been one dunk on us. Like, remember when as the year started off, we had World War III trending for like the third time in the last 4 years, which is sad. So, yeah. So Stephanie McMahon has confessed that yes, they have piped in audio at the Thunderdome. Oh great, that was the worst kept secret in the history of wrestling. Yeah. Speaking on Token CEO, Stephanie McMahon that WWE didn't initially want to use fake crowd noise in the Thunderdome. The audio made such a difference. At first, we did not want to pipe in any audio because we thought it would come off as phony and it wouldn't feel real. We didn't like that. When we started experimenting with a mix of real audio with the amplified audio, it made such a difference as a viewer. Stephanie went on to say now is the time for brands to experiment and that consumers want to become attached to the brands that experiment. She also said that brands can't be afraid to fail during these times. And it's, oh, god damn it. Okay, so do any of these experiments count for quality product, consistent storytelling, continuity, logic, believability? Not do storylines where a person makes out with a 13-year-old makes out with a 19-year-old, or have Enzo Amore be a sexual harasser yet be seen as the hero of the story, because I'm still pissed at that angle they pulled. Well, imagine if that was happening during the Speaking Out movement. That would have been a nightmare. That the WWE blatantly said, oh, the sexual harassers, they are all the heroes. Anyone who defends the lady or defends the gentleman and are villains because they're foreign. Except for Lana. She's Russian. We're faking it. So, yeah, the fact that they piped in the audios was already annoying to some people. It makes it feel less real and believable. Well, especially when you know that if fans were in attendance and Roman turned heel, they would be cheering their heads off hearing Roman turn heel. So, yeah, no one believes it. So, after the events that happened with Kylie Ray, there was a lot of talk regarding Impact Wrestling and her. Fightful Select reported the following. In an update on the Kylie Ray situation, we're told that there's no bad blood from the Impact side, and the company is hopeful she'll be able to return to the future. The company has tapings from the 17th to the 20th, and have left a lot of story-related points open-ended in case she can make those tapings, but weren't pressuring her to do so. None of the roster that we spoke with had heard from her as of last Tuesday morning, prior to her message indicating that she had retired this past Monday. So, yeah, I get Impact wanted her for big plans, like most likely have a run with the title, and they do hope. And like I said, they do hope they can make something work, but at best, it looks like that's probably not going to happen for the foreseeable future, because if it did happen, what's the best way to describe it? I don't think it would happen for now unless Kylie Ray can really get herself on a big recovery speed that doesn't really affect her in the long run, that doesn't cause a relapse. But given how mental illness is such a potent thing that can happen at any moment, and from what I've experienced, uh probably it'd be probably best to just right now think she's done for a while, or she's done for good, and probably just do something one day with that. But hopefully they don't do a storyline when, if she does come back, where they make fun of her mental illness. So, Cultaholic. It is reported that a lot of people in WWE disagree with Survivor Series' current format, which is basically the brand for brand supremacy. According to Dave Meltzer of Wrestling is Over Radio, a lot of people in WWE are opposed to Survivor's current format of booking champion versus champion matches every year. Meltzer said, I tell you what, that's like the mentality that they have. This is another new one. It's like they're doing matches because traditionally that's what they do. And again, Survivor's men and women matches, that's fine, but whoever it's going to be, Roman Reigns against Randy Orton, it's like they're doing it to do it. And granted, Roman has no opponent, but Randy Orton does, and they're not doing it. And it's not like Roman is on the show this week doing something with Orton. Orton's programs are with McIntyre, and the subtle thing with The Fiend, well, it's maybe not that subtle. Oh, it's got nothing to do with the pay-per-view because they are locked into this traditional thing, and I know a lot of people... Well, I know people who are not in agreement in the sense that why they have to do Bobby Lashley against Sami Zayn when nobody wants to see it, because last year we did it anyway. Did it this way. So, yeah, they could have done it. They could have done a mix of Survivor Series matches for brand supremacy and just have a regular pay-per-view spliced in the middle, or make Survivor Series matter more, as in tell big story events. Like, wasn't it rumored Retribution was going to do something? But now it looks like it's completely superfluous. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, former NWA World Women's Champion Alyssa Kay reveals she is now a free agent. She announced earlier on November 3rd that her run with NWA has come to an end and she is officially a free agent. And saying in her tweet, "As of today, I'm officially a free agent. Thank you to the NWA for the opportunities, which include one of my favorite matches of my career. I'm open to indie bookings and appearances. Let's get weird." So yeah, so people want to see her go to AEW or WWE, but considering how WWE is an oppressive dictatorship that's hell bent on making everyone's lives miserable, I would say not do that. But there is some news regarding Alyssa Kay. It came out by Tony Khan today. Let me find it. Okay. Tony Khan had written in a tweet announcing. Let's see if I can find it. Saying this: before tonight's huge live AEW Dynamite on TNT, I've just secured a big new match on Saturday at the buy-in available to all. After her NWA World Women's Title win last week and first defense on Dynamite, Serena Deeb will defend her title against former champion Allison Kay. Woo! So people were like, "Why is it on the buy-in?" I get people wanting it on the main show. I get that, but at the same time, the buy-in, I would say at best they should open the show, because if the last several AEW events have shown, when it comes to pay-per-view events, it's all ended in complete disaster for the women, because either they don't have a match, or when they do have a match that's exciting people, then disaster strikes and people just don't have it in them to care. Remember the Matt Hardy incident. So I feel like being the buy-in or the main event or being the first opening match to avoid any disaster. But they also have a second women's match going on. Hikaru Shida defending her title. I think it's against Big Swole. Let's double check on that. Big Swole. Let's see. She's going to fight. 8. No. Not her. Hikaru Shida is going to fight Nyla Rose. Gotcha. So I feel like it's probably best for Serena Deeb and Lisa Kay to be the buy-in, and then have Hikaru Shida and Nyla Rose be the opening matchup, or the other way around. But since AEW's world title needs to get pushed in their women's division, I say they both be back to back in some way. So yeah, let's just hope for the best and hope for quality entertainment. Report: Pete Dunne was a late addition to Pat McAfee's NXT faction. So at Halloween Havoc, Pete Dunne turned heel and whatnot. And according to Talk Sports' Alec McCarthy, Ridge Holland was originally going to be the fourth member of the faction, but those plans were obviously scrapped following his injury. Pete Dunne was then brought in as a late substitute. So yeah, the guy we saw at Takeover, yeah, he was supposed to fight, supposed to be part of the group, but then he got hurt, and he was set for a big push, which sucks that happened. But I get Pete Dunne's reason to join, because he got backstabbed by the Undisputed Era, Roderick Strong, and yeah, so continuity makes sense. They have a plan B, and it made sense. So as we continue to deal with the war of third-party rights, because WWE has an undeclared naval war going on with that, WWE ordered talent to cease activities with third-party platforms like Cameo and Twitch. Talents were initially allowed to continue using them, but they later told that the company would be taking over their accounts. Prominent streamers AJ Styles, Cesaro, Black, Vega, and Mia Yim have since suspended their channels on the live streaming platform after the last-ditch talks with Vince McMahon had failed. So yeah, they did try to fight this, and Vince McMahon is being like I'm Vince and Kenny McMahon, you are all a bunch of bitches to me. But one WWE superstar may have found a loophole in the third-party ban, though. Ooh, a third-party reveal. So there's a third-party loophole? Huh, we're going to see that. Zelina Vega recently launched an OnlyFans account. Yeah, that place. As noted in her bio, the WWE superstar won't be posting nudes. Oh, thank God. Fans can purchase personalized photo sets of her in cosplay photos, Those from $500. Okay, that's a little steep, but a subscription to the account costs $30 a month. If Vega joining OnlyFans paves the way for other superstars to use third-party platforms remains to be seen. In regards to the Twitch situation, there's been no update since the weekend. Talent were scheduled to speak with WWE officials last week, but the meeting did not go ahead, according to Dave Meltzer. Oh, I'm so shocked. Vince promises the Democratic holdup of town hall meeting. Vince lies. Oh, I'm so shocked this happened. I mean, Vince has always been known to be a saint, right? So there was a thing that came out on the during the yeah WWE has put out, as apparently unknowingly, thanks to Heal by Nature, revealed that there is in fact a image list that's containing what cannot be shown at the Thunderdome video. So this is what they showed. AEW, okay, fuck them, right? Because they're definitely not in our heads. Impact Wrestling, though, yeah, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Why am I not surprised? These Enzo Amore, okay, he did do some annoying stuff, so I get why they probably don't want to talk about him, especially when he went to Survivor Series and tried to make a scene. Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, MJF, Tony Khan, Cody Rhodes, Brandy Rhodes, Marty Scurll, Young Bucks. They don't care. I'm pretty sure they're. So if Kenny Omega actually did decide to watch, if any of them decide to actually watch, would WWE just ban them outright? And Marty Scurll, okay, I can understand if that's the reason, other than him being in the Elite, if he's still in it. Chris Benoit, okay, definitely understand that. CM Punk, isn't he working with you guys to some capacity? Or do you still hate his guts? Jane Cornette, I mean, like, that probably could have changed since he praised WWE's NXT UK match. Alberto El Patron, oh, but you did consider bringing him back to tell Paige to go fuck herself, essentially. Ryback, okay, he has been very spoken, and there is a legal issue going on with them. Ashley Masro, you really did that. Oh. So the person who did not make any statements, but it was confirmed that you let a sexual assault event happen for her, and say it was just a misfortunate incident, and because you had to deal with the military, and let the person get away with it. Oh, okay. Superstar Billy Graham. Okay, I don't know much what's going on with him. Vicky Guerrero, because she's AEW. The flag of Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Tibet. You know, I'm curious. Where's the I get to an extent the Hong Kong and Taiwan thing and Tibet, because China is a very big partner for WWE, and they're the three places that China does not like. But I am wondering why the hell is the Ku Klux Klan and the murdering incident that was broadcasted not on that list. Is that just too much to ask? Okay. So, good news. Xbox Game Pass subscribers can now preload EA Play games and play them soon. So, Xbox subscribers will soon be able to access EA Play catalog as part of the big launch on November 10th, because everything's happening on November 10th besides the PS5. Hey, The Verge, Tom Warner has reported on Twitter that Xbox Game Pass subscribers can now preload EA Play games ready for launch next week. You can download all games, but they won't be unlocked until the 10th of November. So you can essentially just preload them and get ready to basically go crazy. The Witcher 3. So according to the Xbox Series X, even with optimization, fast travel in Witcher 3 is fast. So they showcased this fast travel GIF of Witcher 3 playing it, and it's rather instantaneous, almost borderline instantaneous, like a couple of seconds, but there are no load screens involved. But yeah, so it does. The graphic did look like it degraded a little bit, but like, yeah, this is big that they just said that this basically just said Whoop! Fast travel done. So that's looking pretty awesome. Let's see if that affects other games. Justice League Ray Fisher says only a single Zack Snyder cyborg scene made it into the weekend cut. So, Ray Fisher, aka Cyborg, said that almost every single scene featuring Cyborg ended up being reshot for Joss Whedon's theatrical cut of the film. Once again, speaking on Geek House Show podcast, Fisher addressed the extent of Whedon's reshoots and how they altered Zack Snyder's intended arc for Cyborg, as he alleged that every single scene with Cyborg in the theatrical version turned out to be a reshoot, except for one brief appearance from his character assembling alongside the Justice League to meet up with the Commissioner Gordon on the rooftop up of the Gotham City Police Department. Some things were like similar with the reshoots as what we did with the original, so it's hard to like tell what certain sauce of other people for scenes that I wasn't there for. But what I can tell you from my character and for what you saw in the theatrical version, that every single scene, with the exception of Gotham City, the police rooftop scene with Commissioner Gordon, Batman, and Flash, and all that, every single scene that I'm in was reshot. I reshot almost the entire film on my end. As far as other people's stuff I went where I wasn't there, I can't really tell you. So most of Cyborg's origin story was cut from the theatrical version, including seeing the character learn to fly, use weapons, hack into other computer networks, as well as his deeper connection to mother boxes, since he's basically born from a mother box. The majority of these scenes are expected to be restored in the full for Zack Snyder's 4-hour expansive cut of Justice League, which will release across 4 parts in HBO Max for 2021. Snyder has already stated that if he will not use a single frame for Whedon's cut for his version, in fact, he said he would literally blow the thing up before using any of Whedon's material. Snyder has, however, started working on his own reshoots for the director's cut, where several of the main cast will probably return to shoot additional footage to presumably flesh out existing scenes, and also provide a more smoother transition to get to each part. So look forward to that, everyone. So the Mass Effect cast is going to reunite on N7 Day amid trilogy remaster speculation. So yeah, the multiple cast members from the Mass Effect franchise are reuniting on November 7th for N7 Day celebration amidst continuing speculation about the remastering of the first 3 games. The news was revealed by Commander Shepard himself, Mark Muir, on Twitter, who added that the special event will take place 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Fans will be able to tune in on November 7th to check out the stream featuring Muir, Jennifer Hale, Steve Bloom, Courtney Taylor, and many other talented voice actors who lent their skills to the sci-fi series. The event will be chaired by BioWare's Karen Weeks and Patrick Weeks. Naturally, this could just be the meeting of the minds for reminiscence about a popular franchise, but given the speed at which the rumors is turning about a potential trilogy remastering, it would be the perfect time to reveal something that will please franchise fans. Yay. So I'm excited for that. I already have the games and I already played them, so I'm just using YouTube content because content is content. So I probably won't be getting them unless they give them to me for free, but I probably won't make the videos. Henry Cavill is heading back to the South to continue filming The Witcher Season 2 in the studio after it was announced that England would enter a second national lockdown. Talking to Instagram, Cavill, who plays, The Witcher, announced that he was leaving The Witcher Season 2's on-location shoot in the north of England to return to the studio for additional filming. As England prepares to enter a new month-long lockdown on Thursday, in response to the recent surge of cases, England returns to lockdown Thursday, so it's time for me to depart Yorkshire and the extraordinary north and head back down south to continue shooting in the studio. Cavill wrote in his post, "Thank you for hosting all of us on Season 2 of The Witcher. Hopefully I shall return to your hills, dales, and vales soon. Stay strong and stay safe, my friends." So, yeah, the shoots were suspended. So, yeah, they had a turbulent motive. Like, actors had to change because of it. So, yeah, we won't see The Witcher Season 2 until probably mid to late 2021, in my opinion. Blood Rain 1 and 2 are getting a PC remasters in November of 2020. Yay. They will both be released on Steam and GOG on November 20th, 2020. Okay. Like, every time when I think of Blood Rain, I'm thinking of the Uwe Boll movies. You do not appreciate my genius in Uwe Boll movies. I am currently Uwe Boll, and I am currently a director who's retired. But I'll come back. But then I'll retire again. And then make a petition for you all to get rid of me. But then I will be denying your petition and going ahead doing my business. I'm really am trying to understand Felix's translation of Uwe Boll. So yeah, Blood Rain 1 and 2. Oh boy, let's see how that works out for everyone. So I think that's that date. Yesterday's cuts of talks. Let's continue going on. So WWE wants to do something different for Royal Rumble 2021. Oh, you want to try something new? Is it like be a good product? At a spectacle of the scale of 2020 likely won't be possible next year because of the ongoing pandemic. WWE is working on something different for the Big Four pay-per-view, for one of the Big Four pay-per-views, although according to WrestleVotes, what that something different is was not revealed. The company also reportedly wants fans in attendance, even if it was just for one show, because we screwingly hate the people. Well, but big day for voting, go vote. But this is for WrestleVotes, so regardless of the next location of the Thunderdome, it is expected to last into February. Howard WWE is working on something different for the Royal Rumble event. They want fans, even if it's just for that one show. Classic Vince. He doesn't care about us. AEW once again does something that made me slap my forehead and wondering why the hell did that happen. During a recent interview with PW Insider Elite, Tony Khan was asked about AEW's handling of the injuries, and he revealed the company has updated their medical personnel with immediate effect. The Young promotion has added another independent neurologist and independent doctor to its medical team. They will be in attendance at every show to provide extra support. A two-way feature has also been introduced so referees can now talk to people backstage if there is an injury. Furthermore, former WWE superstar and CEO of the Concussion Legacy Foundation, Chris, I can't pronounce his name, and will be in Jacksonville, Florida for Full Gear on November 7th to give his thoughts and critiques to AEW. Oh, so AEW is asking for advice, and now you're actually hiring an expert neurologist. Why did it take so... Okay. So, yeah, they're going to give their critiques and whatnot. I'm still, right now, I'm still processing and editing my AEW 1 year later. Shout out. So, I'll hopefully have some information and updates next week or the week after. Week and a half from now. Report: WWE reached out to numerous AEW Dark and New Japan Pro Wrestling strong talents. So, throughout the pandemic, AEW has reached numerous wrestlers from the independent wrestling scene, including KTP, Top Flight, and Danny Limelight. New Japan has adopted a similar approach for a strong show based out in the United States, the likes of which Blake Christian, DKH, and Fred Rosser have all been used along with many others. Several wrestlers on the show have ended up being signed. Will Hobbs among them have joined AEW in the past few months, while Ben Carter ultimately signed WWE and NXT UK made a major play to bring him in. Essentially says, we'll pay you and you can be on UK show. Got it. The Prodigy of Pro Wrestling isn't the only wrestler from AEW Dark and Strong that WWE has looked to bring in. According to Fightful Select, WWE reached out to numerous wrestlers who have been on both shows. PW Insight also did decide to try to sign Anthony Bowens, who opted to join in AEW. So let's see if I get this straight. You guys fired a huge chunk of your guys, and now months later, after you record record profits, are now going to hire a whole bunch of guys and gals. Way to be the team player, Vince. Backstage news on Lana's current storyline. Wait, she has a storyline? I didn't know that. So, over the past several weeks, Nia Jax has repeatedly put Lana through an announce table and whatnot, and has been able to overcome adversities, became number one contender, then lost, and is currently the fifth member of Team Raw in the Women's Survivor Series elimination match, because that was a great idea. Dave Meltzer recently reported that WWE believes Lana is a massive face following her Battle Royale win a few weeks ago. He later added on a Wrestling Observer newsletter that the company believes she is getting more and more over every time she gets put through a table by Nia Jax. What? So Paul Davis added, saying, reached out to his source from WWE about the storyline and was told Lana will eventually get revenge on Nia by putting the irresistible force through a table. When this will be is currently unknown. Probably never. Davis also reported that Vince McMahon does not hold a grudge against Miro, and there is no heat on Lana because the best man signed with AEW. Okay, even I don't believe that. Like, also, how will Lana get Nia up top of her? Like, I'm not gonna say it because it does sound like I'm implying it, but Nia is much bigger than her, and I should know I'm big. Uh, but yeah, and plus, my idea would be just get her away from Nia. Just stop. Like, Nia is a whirlwind of injury recklessness. That's my biggest problem with her. I don't care about her weight. Like, the fact that they did a body shaming storyline with a person who had an eating disorder publicly expressing that is a problem I have. But yeah, I don't even know. So is this gonna be, oh god damn, I just realized the TLC is gonna be coming up in December. They're gonna make this a tables match. Damn it. So, AEW has signed Anthony Bowens and Matt Caster. They are now all elite. Tony Khan revealed that they had signed with AEW and would be known as the Acclaimed. AEW later confirmed the news with their customary insert name here is All Elite. WWE was interested in signing Bowens recently, according to PW Insider, which you can clearly see did not happen. So now they are going to be a tag team known as the Acclaimed. As such, we have now finally got our final component needed for a necessary and overly indulgently insane G1 Climax version of tag team wrestling for AEW. Yay. So I'm excited what the Acclaimed will bring. Star Wars Squadron developers confirm it is not making another Star Wars game. A job listing on Games Radar mentioned specifically that EA Motor was hiring for upcoming Star Wars action game. However, the job listing apparently contained an error, and this project is not related. EA Motor said on Twitter that human error was involved in the mistake. Due to human error, hey, it happens. We see a lot of speculation. While we're not working on a new Star Wars project, we're working on something pretty special. The confirmation comes not long after EA Motor boss in a blog post that the team was working on several unannounced projects and they would be developed using a new approach. So we talked about that multiple times. So yeah, they're not working on Star Wars, so be sad about that. But we're gonna have to see what they do next with the future, but we'll have to see. So there's that. And I believe there was another piece of news I recall seeing. I just need to see something here. Okay. I'm just need to check on this. Okay. So DC apparently has big plans for Punchline in 2021. The year isn't over, but Punchline sure does rank up there in the short list of breakout new comic book characters in 2020 and whatnot. While not getting an actual sales number, Tyrion has said the advance orders have been absolutely staggering. Punchline, and Tyrion said recently in a newsletter, The Empire Tiny Onion, that it feels like my year is beginning and ending with Punchline calling the shots. The fact that we're still getting so many amazing cosplayers tackle her months after her debut is feeling. Tyrion goes on to say that he and DC have big plans for her in 2021. Going to speculation mode, could those big plans be a Punchline series? Could this be the project he and Batman artist Gillian March are working on? Since he did draw the Punchline story Batman 100, so we'll have to see that. Readers will get a look into DC's near future and whatnot regarding Batman and everything. James' fingerprints are all over Future State, and I can confirm in March he and George Jimenez will be back in Gotham City with Batman 106. George already finished inking 106. One thing you could expect to see in Batman After Future State is the origins of the two new main antagonists in January-February event. And Batman titles The Majesty and Peacekeeper 1. You'll be reading a lot more about the Majesty and a character named Peacekeeper 1 in those Future State books, but it won't be until March and beyond that we see their origins in the real present-day Gotham. He said in his newsletter, the future state is meant to be a glimpse into a possible future of the DCU, filled with a lot of Easter eggs that will hint at, but not bind, in the direction of the line moving forward. So, yeah, Yeah. So it looks like so yeah, he's back. George Jimenez is back. Yay! He's an awesome artist. So we'll have to see what he has in store for everybody. But like I said, we'll have to wait for that in March. Uh, we'll see. Christopher Nolan is thrilled with Tenet's box office numbers. Oh God, you poor man. Rather than looking at where the film has worked well and how they can provide them with much needed revenue, they're looking at the film where the film has worked well and how they can provide them with much needed revenue. They're looking at where it hasn't lived up to pre-COVID and expectations. So yeah, he's proud of the film. I get that. Being thrilled at the box office, that's points for optimism, I guess. So Blizzard is planning to crack down on World of Warcraft multi-boxing. So, a method of grinding faster through the use of unauthorized software. We've examined the use of third-party input broadcasting software, which allows a single keystroke or action to be automatically mirrored to multiple game clients. And we've seen an increasingly negative impact towards the game as the software is used to support botting and automated gameplay. The use of input broadcasting software that mirrors keystrokes to multiple WoW game clients will soon be considered an actual offense. We believe this policy is in the best interest of the game and the community. So yeah, Blizzard is cracking down. They're policing things again. So the recently released Witches remake skipped theaters, heading straight to HBO Max on October 27, and has also landed the studio in hot water over criticism of the disability community from the disability community. And Robert Zemeckis' directed adaptation, and Hathaway's character known as the Grand Witch is portrayed as having missing fingers, though many with disabilities have pointed out her hand seems to have been modeled on a rare rim condition that is commonly referred to as split hand. I can't pronounce it, so I don't know. Advocates fear that portrayal perpetuates stereotypes and also send the message that disabilities are scary. Athlete Amy Mara, for example, took to Twitter to speak out against what she felt was thoughtless interpretation and exaggeration of the movie's source material, novelist Roald Dahl's 1983 children's book of the same name. So Warner Brothers has heard the concerns via a release extending an apology and adapting the original story. We worked with the designer artist to come up with a new interpretation of the cat-like claws that are described in the book. It was never the intention for viewers to feel that the fantastical non-human creatures were meant to represent them. This film is about power of kindness and friendship. It is our hope that families can enjoy this film and embrace this empowering, love-filled theme. And they also mention how the original book describes these characters, the titular witches, as having square feet, no toes, blue split, bald heads, and clawed fingers. Though it should be noted that Dahl's work has retroactively and repeatedly come under fire for its problematic content. And oh god damn it, we're back to this again. Never mind, everyone. Cancel the apocalypse. It's like I get they want to have this idea of representation and people don't want to be misrepresented, but at the same time I'm thinking to myself, oh damn it, we're really attacking books and now again from decades ago, which were different time periods. So yeah, I'm like, it's not the one book that paved the way for a great war to happen. So we can be glad it wasn't that. Because we know that should be destroyed in some aspects. Okay, in all aspects, I think. So, the hard drive space for consoles has become a hot button issue for gamers over the last few years and whatnot, as the size of games and updates have ballooned into the hundreds of gigabytes. Call of Duty is an example of that. So, PS5 has around to 650 gigabytes of usable storage space on an 825 solid state drive. And it has announced that, and it has been revealed by a user who claims to have obtained the Series S ahead of the street. They say the console has 364 gigabytes of usable storage from its 500. That represents around 73% of the 500 gigabyte solid state drive, which is around the usual fraction of usable space for consoles. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. So yeah, and the PS5 has just over 650 usable gigabyte storage, which would then you'll have far less than the rated 825 gigabytes SSD drive suggested. Yeah, that's bad. Like, bad. So, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is going to have a special cameo actor in this. Los Angeles Dodgers Cody Beniler, I think, I'm pretty sure I butchered that name wrong, will cameo in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where we see a video of him picking up a Viking axe. Yay. In an interview, he called himself a video game nerd and was very excited about his role, saying, "It felt pretty cool to be a Viking. I got to make Viking moves and add a baseball swing to it. You can't fight me, but Ada Slugson would win if there were fighting." Yeah, a nice way to say that. So, yeah, get hyped for that, everyone. For those who know this guy, I don't know him honestly. Marvel's WandaVision actor says it's a full-on action movie mixed with sitcoms. Okay, this is okay. So the actress Paris said, "I'm so happy to be part of this universe and to be Monica Rambeau. She's such a badass in the comics. I just can't believe this is happening. This is a full-on action movie mixed with sitcoms. It's wild. It's wild. I think people will be very excited." Like every time I watch the trailer and considering that Wanda is doing this, I'm thinking more like, are you sure? I keep thinking it's going to be more like a horror show because of Wanda seemingly having a mental breakdown and how it's supposedly going to lead into the destruction of time and space that will lead into the collapse of the multiverse, which leads to secret wars probably, or Kang the Conqueror destroying all life. So, yeah. The source code for hacking game Watch Dogs Legion has seemingly been hacked. Ironic. DSOG Gaming notes that this could lead to enabling mods for Watch Dogs Legion and cracking anti-piracy measures. As reported, a ransomware gang by the name of Egregor in October 2020 claimed to have obtained access to the internal networks of both Ubisoft and Crytek and stole data. Unfortunately, DSO Gaming have said that Egregor appears to have possession of the source code and it has since leaked it online at the size of 560 gigabytes. Those bastards. Okay. So, if I'm correct, that's pretty much it. Let's just double check on that front. It's just insane that just happened. Like I didn't. Wild, very wild. We live in a world of societal insanity. Yeah. Yeah, that's the world we live in. So, apparently there's an Among Us fan film and it's said to be more stressful than the game. Yeah. Also, I think there was controversy again with NBA 2K21. Young Yi, I believe, talked about this. Let me find it, and then I think that's it. Young Yi, let me find that. Okay. Once again, 2K20 once again fucked players over, saying rare new items wasn't in paid loot boxes for 23 minutes after release. What they basically said was, "Oh, I know you fought for rare items and you paid real world money, and you didn't get your rare items like it was guaranteed to give you, but we'll keep your money anyway. So, good job there." Okay, that's about it. Now let's just end it there. Now I usually do comic releases, but I get my comics probably Thursday or Friday, so we'll see on that. And I'm also gonna get them probably delayed on next Wednesday as well. Well, since I order next week's releases, so we'll have to see how that goes. Stay tuned for that. And this was Neo Reality Collective Oversized Edition number 2, episode 38. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, donate, stay tuned for more. Stay safe, everyone, and let's see how this is going so far. I know, I hope not to talk about it, but let's see how it's going so far. We're still at 264 against, we're still with Biden's 264 and Trump's 214. Okay. Take care, everyone, and happy voting, and stay safe from the COVID virus, everyone. Peace.